Hey, folks, here at DonBest.com, little NFL talk for you. Carolina visits Atlanta. Brian Blessing along with Kenny White and Todd Furman. We've got the Falcons a 7-point favorite. The consensus total, fellas, is 48.5. Let's start with the visitors. Kenny, I know you've thought about Cam Newton, the fast start last year, and it was kind of hidden how he tailed off once teams got film on him, and we're seeing a little carryover on that into this season.
Well, we talk about sophomore jinx. It's brought up so much, and it's really not a jinx, and it could be a little bit because guys do get big heads and they think, wow, I conquered that league as a rookie. Wait till they see what I do in my second year. The problem is it's not really a jinx. It's the defenses. Defensive coordinators get paid the most money of any coordinators because it's their job to shut down players. He averaged 300 yards, over 300 yards per game the first 4 last year, 220 the last 8.
How about Matt Ryan on the flip side? You talk about a quarterback who's really burst on the scene this year. Atlanta 3-0, and I think they've pretty much clinched this division by looking at the math through the early going. But this is a Falcons team who went out to San Diego, really impressed me in arguably one of the tougher spots to make when you talk about traveling cross country on a short week. But what you're seeing here is perception. Everyone remembers Carolina getting blown out at home by the Giants. We saw Atlanta blow out San Diego. Not so fast, my friends.
Well, let's talk about the number. It's sitting at 7. Is it inflated because of the start Atlanta's off to, and does it go through 7?
I think it goes through 7. I think you'll see 7.5. I said on Tuesday, I think you'll see 8 because Atlanta is the flavor of the week right now. They are dynamite. And at home, Mike Smith, 15, 8-2. The last 3 years covering spreads at home. This is a great home field. You talked about it. Atlanta needs home field in the playoffs.
I think what we saw last week was Jacquizz Rodgers getting a little more involved in this offense. He gives them an element that Michael Turner flat out can't. But you look at this Falcons team, the number did open at 7.5, and there was a strong move on Carolina pushing that price down to 7. I do agree, though, with you, Kenny. When you talk about the public getting involved on game day, this number will only go one way, and that's up.
I think there's one hidden thing inside this game. If you look at it, Atlanta's been outgained by their opposition, but the majority of those yards are coming in garbage time when they have big leads. So my question to you guys would be, if they got involved in a back-and-forth game, you're going to see that up-tempo. The over looks really attractive to me if Carolina gets off to a good start.
Yeah, Mike Smith has seemed to play a little conservative with the lead in these games because Atlanta, it looks like they're almost just playing Nintendo or Xbox, that the receivers he has and the throws he's making.
I thought you were going to talk about Coleco and Atari and really date yourself for our younger audience out there, but you recovered with Xbox very nicely.
All right, Pong.
You look at Atlanta, and they can air the ball out. Julio Jones and Roddy White, one of the most dynamic, if not the best tandem of wide receivers in the league. Tony Gonzalez stretches the middle of the field. I still have some concerns about Atlanta's defense and what they're capable of doing against the likes of Steve Smith, who had one game last year where he still may be catching balls. But I know Carolina lost those 2 games by 8 points and 14 points.
Atlanta laying 7 points, hosting Carolina. Got an NFC South contest for you. Total currently sitting at 48.5.